Ama ni wangapi washaikutana na topiki kama hiyo mahali popote pale? All the nations which are dwelling in this earth to have one day for worship. How many of you are getting this for the first time? It is something which has happened during some time back. To lay a foundation about this topic called the Sunday law, which is going to come soon, and it has ever happened some time back when you read about the history. First of all, I want us to understand what is called the Sunday law. I know if I was to ask you this one, I know that you will have answered me. But let me just tell you this. The Sunday law refers to a civil and religious legislation enforcing Sunday as a day of rest and worship in place of the biblical Sabbath. From the beginning, Satan had his desire that he should do what? He should be worshipped. That is the desire Satan had from the beginning. When you read the book of Revelation, but we are going to study from the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse number 8 up to number 11. I think you know what it is there. That is the Sabbath commandment. So Satan, that is the devil, truly he has been seeking this, that he will be the God that is to be worshipped. So, I want to lay a foundation on how this day started. On how this day started. From the book of Exodus, which I've mentioned, it clearly tells us what we should do on the Sabbath. Someone can just read verse number 8. Then mtu anaweza soma haraka very quickly so that I can be able to tackle some of the matters here. We understand that the Sabbath will be the great point of issue in these last days which we are living. It will be the great sign or point of issue. Satan has something concerning the Sabbath. That is why we are going to study to see that there are some of the laws which are going to come so that every person should do that one. And in fact, you will realize that that time is not very far. Some of the people are questioning how near is near. But I want to tell you today that such laws, some of them have been made. As I said earlier, from around the year 538 to 1798 AD, that was a time which we call, it was dark ages. That is the time when most of the sons of God were really betrayed because they were doing what was right. And in fact, the thing which they were doing is that they were respecting the Sabbath. Someone can read from the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse number 8. The Bible says, I think you can read it with some energy. Yeah, kindly.
The Bible reads,
Yes.
remember the Sabbath day
Remember the Sabbath day.
to keep it holy.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are confirming from the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse number 8 up to around verse number 11 about the observance of the Sabbath. The Bible tells us that we should remember and keep the Sabbath holy. Then, when we read from the book of Ezekiel chapter 20, verse number 12, someone can also read it very fast, we see that the Sabbath is also a sign between us human beings and God. Therefore, Satan has something concerning the Sabbath of the Lord. Someone can read from Ezekiel chapter 20, verse number 12.
The Bible reads, moreover also, I
Yes.
gave them my Sabbath, be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord, that I sanctify them.
Thank you very much. Yes. It's a sign between us, that is the human beings, and the Lord. I don't want to mention this, but I really understand, I know that you know well, the mark of the beast. What is the mark of the beast? And also the seal of God. I think it is opposite to one another. Someone can shout from the congregation. The mark of the beast is, this one we learnt it during the time we had a prophecy class. The mark of the beast is, my brother, Sunday sacredness. And then the seal of God is the Sabbath. The seal of God is the Sabbath. Someone of Revelation chapter 13, it will tell us this mark of the beast is what. So, not commendable in the Bible, introduced gradually after the apostles influenced by Roman culture. So I wanted to give a brief on how the Satan really wants to be worshipped. You see, there was a war in heaven where now Satan and also the angels fought Michael. Then, of course, at the end, you know what happened. He was defeated, and then he was thrown to this earth. At the Garden of Eden, where our first parents were, that is Adam and Eve, this Satan came and deceived our first parents. And that one continued like that. But when you read about in the book of Ezekiel, you see the reason why Satan is fighting against God is that he has a lot of what? Has a lot of pride. Someone can read from the book of Ezekiel chapter 28. Kuna mtu amefika hapo hivyo. Ezekiel chapter 28 around verse number 13.
Thou hast in Eden the garden of God.
Thou, Joshua.
Thou hast in Eden the garden of God.
Yes.
Every precious stone was the covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the
You can proceed.
14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth. I have sent thee forth. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy days, from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast kept. Therefore I will cast thee as a sand out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covenant cherub, from the midst.
Thank you, Joshua. I think you can leave at that point so that I can proceed. You see, that is the characteristics
Or
of
how Satan was described at that time.
That he was so beautiful until iniquity was found in him. He really wanted to be like one that is like God. But we see that he also did a very big mistake by convincing a third of the angels in heaven to follow him. So this war has not started yesterday. It is a war that has started long time ago. In fact, from heaven, the Garden of Eden, we see how Satan has been trying every time so that he can be the same. He declares, when you read the book of Daniel chapter 7, that he can be able to change what we call the laws, which we are going to see here. He will try, but at the end we are going to see that he can't. He will try to change the laws. So allow me to read this one. During the Dark Ages, Sunday observance became enforced by the church. Those keeping Sabbath faced persecution, imprisonment, death, prophecy fulfilled. We have been reading this one during the Friday Vespers about how some of the martyrs, some of the people died during those Dark Ages when the Rome, that is the Roman Empire, had power. From the book of Daniel chapter 7 verse number 25, it says this, someone can also read that one. From the book of Daniel chapter 7 verse number 25. I want now to go directly to the message of today, because if I can lay a foundation then I might take long, and I see that time is really running fast. We want to see now, during the Dark Ages, what happened and what is going to happen. Daniel chapter 7 verse number 25. The Bible says, and they shall speak great words. That is now the beast, or the that is the beast. Thank you. Allow me just to stop there. We are seeing that he will do what? He will think to change. Mark that word. He will think to do what? To change. Endelea. Yeah, thank you very much. He shall think to change times and what? Laws. One of the things which Satan has been trying to do is to change the time and the laws. When we speak about the laws, we speak about the fourth commandment, that is the Sabbath, remembering the Sabbath and keeping it holy. When we talk about time, we see that nowadays the time starts at exactly 12, that is during the midnight. But as we read the Bible, the time starts at what time? At sunset. That is what Satan has been trying to do from the beginning. This time also is doing the same thing. Yeah. So during the time around, I think we know this man called Constantine. The students of history know this person very well. He was a king, and what he did, he wanted to be now a superpower by making some of the states like Rome to come out of its superpower. So this man called Constantine, that is where we are going to start about the story of this man, because that is the first time we see he is making the nation, that is the atheism, and also the religion or the Christian who are there to be one. That is what is going to Christians will be united to have a common day of worship. So when we speak about the Sunday law, it is something which started. It is something which had started, but right now, when the government and also that is the purpose will come together, they will form a coalition, and all the other days, one will not be expected to worship, but one day, which we are going to see, it is Sunday. That is why we speak about the Sunday laws. The Sunday laws, which we are going to see here. So this man called Constantine, he was a leader at that time, and he conquered in fact most of the nations. He conquered most of the nations, and he had an idea that some of the kings, there are some of the things which have never done, so that he can be famed and also to unite, to have power. He thought that he will be able to unite the people, that is the government, and also the church. And in fact, this man called Constantine really succeeded by doing that one. After that, he made some of the laws which were to be obeyed. Some of the laws at that time which were to be obeyed. Now let me just come directly to this book which we have read here. The book is Revelation chapter 13, verse number 1. I want all of us to study it keenly, and as we are going to study it, we understand very well that a beast in the prophecy means what? A beast in prophecy means a king. And when waters are mentioned in prophecy, it means multitude or people. So in the book of Revelation chapter 13, verse number 1, verse number 2, 3, we are seeing there two beasts which are there. One is coming out of the water, and also another one is coming out of the earth. We want to understand. If we understand those two, then we will see on how it will work here. Allow me to read this one before. The temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen a temple, the ark of his testament. That is, when we read from the book of Great Controversy, it says this statement: the ark of God's testament is in the Holy of Holies, the second apartment of the sanctuary, in the ministration of the earthly tabernacle, which served unto the example and shadow of heavenly things. This apartment was opened only upon the great day of atonement for the cleansing of the sanctuary. Therefore, the announcement that the temple of God was opened in heaven, and the ark of his testament was seen, points to the opening of the most holy place of the heavenly sanctuary. In 1844, as Christ entered there to perform the closing work of the atonement, those who by faith followed their great high priest as he entered upon his ministry in the most holy place, beheld the ark of testament. What is the reason why I'm reading this statement? The reason is that we know that Jesus Christ right now is in heaven, And this lady called, or this Ellen G. White, she was shown some of the things in heaven. And there was the Ark of Covenant. And the Ark of Covenant, even in the sanctuary, it had the 10 Commandments. And in the 10 Commandments, we have the Sabbath as one of them. We have the Sabbath as one of them. As they had studied the subject of the sanctuary, they had come to understand the Savior's change of ministration, and they saw that he was now officiating before the ark of God, pleading his blood in behalf of sinners. In the very bosom of the Decalogue is the 4th commandment, which Satan has some issue with it. As it was proclaimed, remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor, and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord. In it thou shalt not do any work. Satan wants also to be worshipped as God. So here, what basically we are speaking about is about worship. The duty to worship God is based upon the fact that He is the Creator. So, by Satan telling the human beings, the kings in earth, to obey the Sunday law, then it basically means that he wants to be done what? To be worshipped. We are coming here in Revelation chapter 13. We see on how Satan is trying his best to be worshipped, and that to him all other beings owe their existence. So the great point of issue, as I said earlier, is about worship. In Revelation chapter 14, men are called upon to worship the Creator, and the prophecy brings to view a class that, as the result of the threefold message, are keeping the commandments of God. One of these commandments points directly to God as the Creator. And in fact, the 4th commandment, which is keeping the Sabbath holy, reflects how God is the Creator. So by enforcing the Sunday law, it means Satan will declare himself as the Creator. Because if the Sabbath shows that God in heaven is the Creator, then it automatically means that the king or the God who we should worship is Satan, which is false. One of these commandments points directly to God as the Creator. The fourth precept declares, the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. That one we have read. It confirms clearly the importance of the Sabbath is for the memorial of what God did. That is, creating from the first day until the last day. That is why the Sabbath is the great point of issue, that Satan truly wants to be worshipped as the Creator. Another thing which we get from here is, in contrast to those who keep the commandments of God and have the faith of Jesus, the third angel points to another class against whose error solemn and fearful warning is uttered. If any man worship the beast, we have said, is a king. But we are going to see this king is good, and his image, and receives his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. That one we get it from the book of Revelation chapter 14 verse number 9 to 10. A correct interpretation of the symbols employed is necessary to understand of this message, what is represented by the fish, by the beast, and also the image. So there is a need on us to understand this one. Yes. Now we come back here, Revelation chapter 13. We see those two beasts. Verse number 1, someone can read. Yeah, and I want now all of us to be keen on this. We see the two beasts. The Bible says, yes. Read verse number 2. Yeah, thank you very much. We are seeing the first beast there. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, that is John, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea. The first beast is coming where? He is coming out of what? The sea. And remember what I mentioned about the dark ages which ended at the year 17, that is the year 1798. We are going to see there is something which happened. When you continue reading verse number 3, someone also from this side can read verse number 3. Okay, thank you. The first feast is coming out of the sea, and we have said that the sea represents a multitude of people, and the second beast is coming out of the earth. So I want all of us to understand the two beasts. If we will understand them, then I will be done. I will be done if we understand all of them very well. So, Joshua, you can proceed to verse number 4 and also verse number 5. Yeah, thank you very much. Those things, all of them, we will understand. All of them in this time I'm here. When we read from the book of Revelation chapter 13 verse number 11, I want to comment something also. Yeah, we are getting another beast. Verse number 11, we are getting another beast. Of course, I've not said the first feast, the first feast in chapter 13, verse number 11. I want also you read so that I can combine all of them together. So what we want to understand is this: the first beast is coming out of. It is coming out of sea. Are we together? So verse number 11, we are going to see that it is not going to come out. And there? Thank you very much. Without wasting a lot of time, the first beast which we get is the first beast which we get there is the papacy. And I want to give just a brief story. In the year 1798, there is something which happened in that year. From 1798 backward, the leadership which was there was the leadership of the papacy. That is the Roman Empire. The papacy was leading 1798 Kujanyuma. That is just a combination of what was done by this man called Constantine. But in the year 1798, because papacy was now in power, something happened about this man called Constantine, that papacy came out of power. And what happened is there is another nation, or there is another leadership which came in. The other leadership which came in, we get it from the book of Revelation chapter 13 verse number 11, which we will see right now. In chapter 13 is described another beast like unto a leopard, to which the dragon gave his power and his seat and great authority. This symbol, as most Protestants have believed, represents the papacy, which succeeded to the power and seat and authority once possessed by the ancient Roman Empire. That is from the book of Great Controversy, 439.1. Also, someone can be reading it, as I'm reading this one. So this symbol, as most Protestants have believed, represents the papacy, which succeeded the power and seat authority once possessed by the ancient Roman Empire. Of the leopard, like this it is declared, there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle. When we read some of the characteristics in the book of Daniel chapter 7, I think it's verse number what? Daniel chapter 7, we are seeing that this beast also, it heard some of the words against the Most High. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and overcome them. And power was given him, all kindreds and tongues. So that one we read, someone can also read. I think it is good you read from the book of Daniel chapter 7. Let me confirm the verse. Going to study some prophecy kidogo. Chapter 7, we see about the characteristics of this beast. It resembles the beast in chapter 17. Verse number 25, someone can read. Verse 25. Just read from verse number, read verse number 24, and then you read verse number 25.
And the 10th month out of his kingdom, and 10 queens that shall arise, another shall rise after him. They shall be diverse from the first. They shall subdue great kings. And they shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to set times and laws, and they shall be given unto man.
Thank you, Joshua. I think you can leave at that point. He shall speak pompous words against the Most High. Do we have that characteristics also in chapter 13? Yes, he was speaking. Then another thing shall persecute the saints of the Most High. During that time, I think there was a lot of persecution, and shall intend to change time. He has really intended to change time, but we have the Christians, the Seventh-day Adventists, who know the right time, the day starts and the day ends. And lo, so what is remaining is also to change the law. Then the saints shall be given into his hand for a time and half a time. If I had a good time, I could tell you what a time, times and half a time truly means. But because we don't have time, allow me to proceed. At this point, another symbol is introduced. Says the prophet, I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns. That is now 13 verse 11. Both the appearance of the beast and the manner of its rise indicate that the nation which it represents is unlike those presented under the preceding symbols. We get to understand that the beast which is coming out of the earth, it has some of the characteristics which are different from the beast which is coming out of the sea. And this beast, we are going to know which is this one. It had different characteristics from the other beasts. The great kingdom that have ruled the world were presented to the prophet Daniel as beasts of prey. That one is from the book of Daniel chapter 7 verse number 2. But the beast with lamb-like horns was seen coming out of the earth instead of overthrowing other powers to establish itself. The nation represented must arise in a territory previously unoccupied. We are going to see this territory which was unoccupied for some time, that this beast which is different from others, it is going to rise. And what it is going to do, it is to do some of the things which we have said in the book of Daniel chapter 7 verse number 25. Yes. It could not Yes, it arose in an area which was unoccupied for some time and grow up gradually and peaceably. It could not then arise among the crowded and struggling nationalities of the old world, that turbulent sea of people and multitudes. What nation of the new world was in 1798 rising into power? That question we are going to answer it. The nation which was rising to power. And in fact, I can ask a very simple question. In which year did the United States of America attain independence? In which year did it attain independence? We are going to start that this nation was different from the other nations. Nani anajua? Yeah? 1776. I want us to understand that one. We see this nation which is coming out of the earth. It is different from the other one. It will do some of the things which I'm going to mention here. So it proceeds to say, what nation of the new world was in 1798 rising into power, giving promise of strength and greatness, and attracting the attention of the world. The application of the simple admits no question. One nation and one only meets the specification of this prophecy. It points to the United States of America. By that time, that is when the United States of America, you see, during those time, many of the people were persecuted, and some of the slaves were coming back to America. That is where we get most of the Protestant churches started in America, because they knew that is the place they can get protection. So this nation which was rising, or the beast which is being spoken here, Revelation chapter 13 verse number 11, is none other than America. There are some of the similarities which are there, that one of them was given power by another one. And also we get a characteristics that one was speaking like what? Like a man. How can a nation speak like a man? We know that a nation is led by a human being. So we are going to understand all these things well. Again and again, the thought almost the exact words of the sacred. So I want us to see some of the characteristics which makes the United States of America to be the beast which is being spoken here in Revelation chapter 13 verse 11. Number one, again and again, the thought almost the exact words of the sacred writer have been unconsciously employed by the orator and the historian, describing the rise and growth of this nation. The beast was seen coming up out of the earth, and according to the translator, the word here, rendered coming up, literally signifies to grow or spring as a plant. So it was coming slowly, until now we understand well that the United States of America, it is with power. I know that you understand what has been going recently. Some of the people who watch news, you can understand what was happening recently. So the United States at that time, it was not big enough, but it was growing one by one, until right now it is a superpower. What is going to happen is the same thing which happened during the time of Constantine. That now the nation, that is the United States, and also the church, which we are going to see the Protestants, and also now the papas, they will come together and form some of the laws which we are going to discuss. In fact, the law will be that all of us should have one day of worship. And it will come simply, some of the people will be able to understand it, that during that time, it said that all the nations wanted one day so that they can do their activities. And recently, we have been listening about the climate change. It is one of them which is going to make this law to be as it was said. So and this beast, he had two horns like lamb. The lamb like horns indicates youth, innocence, and gentleness, filled representing the character of the United States. When presented to the prophets as coming up, it came up the year 1798. The Christian exiles who first fled to America sought asylum from royal oppression and priestly intolerance, and they determined to establish a government upon the broad foundation of civil and religious liberty. The Declaration of Independence sets forth the great truth. So we have seen that now this which is described here is the papacy. Not the papacy, but the United States of America. We return back to In Revelation 13, we have the two powers, first beast, and also the second religious power linked with papal authority receives worship, and we have the second beast, which is now the one which is going to enforce the laws, is going to make regulation of the laws to guide. Second beast enforces worship. It causes the world to follow the first beast. The mark of the beast. Called selling and buying. Let me just speak what happened recently. That when there was this war, the nation which intervened so that it can help one of them was which nation? It is the United States of America. And you can see clearly what is going to happen. Because right now it is the superpower. The moment it will combine with the Protestants,
churches, and also the Roman now Catholic comes in, then they will form a law, which is the Sunday law, and it will be made that all the people will worship. Some of the people might not understand because it will just come slowly until the time when some of them will be very rash, and it will be forced that anyone who does not honor that day, then you must face some persecution. Understanding mark of the beast is the enforced Sunday observance, and as we said earlier, the seal of God is the Sabbath observance. What the Sunday law will do now in future, of course it has started, but this is what it will do. Number one, legal enforcement. That is number one. Government pass laws requiring Sunday law. That is what will happen. Number one, legal enforcement. Governments pass laws requiring Sunday rest. Number two, restriction of freedom. People pressured to obey. When you read the Constitution of America, there is a part I was reading. It gives freedom of worship. It gives freedom of worship. That is any denomination. But upon the law yenye itakuja, that one, I think they will be able to amend, and it is going to happen soon. Now, all the human beings will be forced to obey. Number two, I've said restriction of freedom. So, like in Kenya, we have the freedom of what? Freedom of worship. Someone can worship the day he wishes. That is the freedom. But upon the Sunday, the Sunday law coming, that freedom will not be there. And one of the characteristics which we understand well about God, God is a God who gives a man to choose. So there will be no choice by that time, because what it is that all of us should do what? My question is, will we stand now when such thing will come? Another thing, economic sanction. I've spoken about the climate change. Of course, I can't dig deeper there. Economic sanction, cannot buy or sell. That one we get from the book of Revelation chapter 13 verse number 17. What will come? And then final stage, 13 verse 15. Death decree. We understand well, during those times, people were persecuted, others died. So that is what is going also to happen. Why Sunday law becomes global, reasons often highlighted. Number one, they desire. So upon agreeing this one, these are some of the things which they will desire. Number one, they will desire what we call unity, that all the people should be united. And how unity can be accomplished? Number one is to make one day for worship. That is why we have read about the two beasts. The second beast is a government. The first one is a religious one. So by the combination of the two, they will try to say that we want unity. And by unity is to make one day of worship. That is how it will come. Some of the people might not understand. Of course, I have not said you, but some of the people here outside might not understand on how it will come. Number two, moral crisis in the world. People are talking about the climate change. So, when these committees will come and sit, they will see that now, because some of the people are working, are worshipping maybe the day they want. So to help the economy, what they will do is to set that all the people should do their work during this day so that one day of rest can come. And that is how Sunday law is going to come. It is just emerging slowly. And number three, another thing which I want us, moral crisis in the world, and also we have the environmental or social justification. But underlying issue is authority in worship. Some of the people might not be understanding what is going to happen. As I said earlier, that Satan, what he wants is to be like God. So all these points, the underlying point is for worship. Worshipping Satan. When we read, that is the book, The Great Controversy, that is 605.1, it speaks about how the Sabbath it will be the final test. It says this, the Sabbath will be the final test. The Sabbath will be the final test. And that is what is going to happen. So what is required of us to do? You read also, I don't know if someone can read this one. The GC, that is Great Controversy, page 592. Where we see that the Protestants and also the mother of all will unite. The mother of all there is the Catholic. Will unite and form that law. The final test, the real issue is not just a day, it is obedience versus disobedience. So this is now the final thing which is to happen. We have seen that the demand of Satan is to be worshipped. And how can he be worshipped? By just creating one day. So the final, the real issue is not a day, it is obedience versus disobedience. We will obey the laws of God. We are commanded that we should keep all the laws, because the laws represent the character
of God. That is the laws. The laws represent the character of God, where the Sabbath is in there. So all these things, it is about obedience. Will you be able to stand still and say that now, no, I understand very well from the Bible that this day, which is the Sabbath of the Lord? Or because of such things which will happen, you will say, no, I won't. Because I just want to tell you, friends, that it will not be easy.
Be simple, because there are some of the persecution which might take place. So will you stand still? Another thing, God's authority versus human authority. We see Daniel chapter 7 verse number 25. It is trying to change the time and also the laws. So God's authority versus human authority. And another thing here is the true worship versus the false worship. We can see about the angel, the second angel, and the third angel. It is all about worship. In fact, all this, it's all about worship. Who receives what? The worship versus false. So the first thing, it's about obedience versus disobedience. Number two, it is about worship, that is true worship and false worship. So if you didn't get anything, please get this at the end. That the final test is all about obedience and disobedience about the God's law. Number two, it is about the true worship and the false worship. And God's authority versus human authority. Human beings can claim that they can forgive sins. So that is all about. And then who receives what? Those who follow God, keep the Sabbath, receive the seal of God. As we said, the seal of God is the Sabbath. And also the mark of the beast is the Sunday sacredness. Receive. So those who follow God keep the Sabbath, receive the seal of God. Those who follow enforce Sunday receive the mark of the beast. That is what is going to happen. That all those who keep the Sabbath will receive, and those who follow enforce Sunday will receive the mark of the beast. I understand that we know this. So of course, I don't know if I will proceed but allow me to read this from the book of Great Controversy. It says this: in the issue of the contest, all Christendom will be divided into two great classes: those who keep the commandment of God and the faith of Jesus, and those who worship the beast and his image and receives his mark. Although church and state will unite their power to compel all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark of the beast. That one is from the book of Revelation chapter 13 verse 16. Yet the people of God will not receive it. Did you hear that one? I don't know if all of us are together. Please, may you understand this one only. May you understand this one. Begin. It's a very good statement. In the issues of the contest, all Christendom will be divided into two great classes: those who keep the commandment of God and the faith of Jesus, and those who worship the beast and his image and receive his mark. Although church and state will unite their power to compel all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark of the beast, but what is going to stand is, yet the people of God will not receive it. The prophet of Patmos beholds them that had gotten victory over the beast and over his image and over the mark and over the number. So the good thing at the end is that the righteousness, there are some of the people who will not be to receive it. And now, will you be one of them? Will you be one of them who will not now receive this mark of the beast, as we have as we have read here? I've really tried to rush because it is a very big topic. So I think I will give, if perchance there is any comment concerning this. I know I've not tackled everything. Concerning this, but if there is an addition or an question, you may ask. Let me see if there is any comment concerning this. Any comment concerning this? Any question? Yeah, I can read from you that you people, okay, are tired. So, a comment or a question? Yeah, you can kindly come and within 30 seconds. 30 seconds only.
Happy Sabbath. Happy day. I'm sorry for interfering. I know we are tired. But something came to my mind. Revelation chapter 13 is about the two beasts. That is papacy and America. Now, when I was reading about the history about the Sunday observance in 321 AD, Constantine made a decree about the observance of the Sunday, and in 323 he came into the church, and that is why you see we have this mode of holidays like Easter Monday, whatever those things. Now from the conclusion we have been asked that who will able to stand. Now the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verses 12, it says, wherefore let him that thinketh that he standeth take heed lest he what? Lest he do what? So brethren, actually we are living the Sunday, let me say the Sunday law iko hata tu niseme is here with us, and we need to be alert in our spirituality, because if we will not be firm in our spiritual life, and that is why the wisest man says, and here the conclusion of the matter, fear God and keep what? And keep what? So may God help us. But I prescribe to us that let us go and read, I think it is the 21st chapter of the Great Controversy, which says preparing to meet the Lord, and it will help us to understand into the details about the mark of the beast, the seal of God, and the events which are going to set the stage, which is the mark of the beast. May God bless us all.
Thank you very much. I think I can stop at that point, and then we have a word of prayer if there is no comment. Allow me to pray. God, thank you because of speaking to us. May we understand the time which we are living, Lord, in heaven. We know that there are some of the laws which are going to come. Some of them will make us even to abandon your laws, where the Sabbath is one of them. I pray that, my Lord in heaven, may you guide us, give us the Holy Spirit, so that we can stand those trials. As we read, my Lord in heaven, that Jesus Christ truly stood firm when he was with the Satan. Lord, I know that when that time is coming, I know that, my Lord in heaven, you will help your children who have read the times and have understood the prophecy to stand still, to stand for you. That is our wish, my Lord in heaven, that after now defeating the devil, we will dinner together in heaven. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray and believe.